We're always on time, like professionals.
Exactly.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Have it in. Some more. Let's get some more.
Well, hello, everyone out there in Whiskey Land. Welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king and home of the Fat Boy tasting notes. Now, as you can see that our lovely cohort Mike is not with us tonight. His work is demanding his presence. I hope he's getting paid overtime. I think he should be. I'm hoping he does. Maybe if he gets done, he'll pop in. That's the word. It's a possibility. So, all right, here. I'm not accustomed to doing this part of the show, but I'm going to give it a whirl. I didn't even think about that I haven't done this in a while, so this might be the abridged version of this. So, we are a proud part of the Bar Cart Co-op, a collection of like-minded people who put out whiskey and whiskey-related content. The first of which shows is with Alan Bishop and Christy Atkins. It's Distillers Talk. It is the oldest of the group. They delve into in-depth reviews of different distillers, kind of going a little bit deeper than a lot of the other people, only because Alan has some background in some of the stuff as well, which leads us into one of his other shows. He has a bunch. This one is One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. This is where he'll answer your questions. You can send him one on Instagram or Facebook, and he will respond to the question that you do have. Now, next on the list of Bar Cart Co-op shows is Bourbon Turntable with Mr. Kevin Rose, where they blend the love of whiskey with the love of music. So if you haven't caught up on some of his stuff, he's been a little bit on hiatus, replaying some old stuff, but I know some new stuff is coming out. And also, he will be with us next Monday evening where we take our Dark Arts Whiskey House Challenge. I'll explain a little bit more about that when I get done with this. So after that, we're going to go back. Alan's got another show. It's If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, where he blends spirit-related, let's go spiritual with the spirit-related field. Kind of delving into a little more spiritual related stuff. After that, we have one more show. It is the Whiskey Ring Podcast with Mr. David Levine, where he does really good reviews. He does really good shows. He does really good award shows. And as Mike would say, all of which we don't do. So I know that's the abridged version. So thank you everyone for being in the chat. And we are going to get rolling here. Mitch is going to wettle me this evening. I saw it. I kind of got excited before. I haven't been wettled in a while, but we're going to at least hit 5 of the rogue distilleries on your trip. And onesie twosies.
Sure. I didn't get to all of these distilleries. They were just something I picked up along the way, right?
Well, it could have been, along the path at one of the many
stores.
Stores. I was going to say, could have been a bar. Who knows where you got stuff from? I don't know. Could have been a trade.
Bars out here sell whole bottles these days.
All right. Where do you want to start? You've had these. I haven't. I don't know which one we should start with.
So I'm going to say let's start with 18th Street Distilling.
Okay, really? We're going to go with, it looks like a single malt. Am I correct in that?
Absolutely.
Outstanding. Hold on here. Let me. Oh, wait. I got a little in here.
There we go. Ta-da.
No, Emily's making dinner. Make sure you get that done.
I just had dinner. It was good.
Jesse, thanks for stopping in.
Morgan made dinner. She does noodles and chicken over mashed potatoes.
Oh, very nice.
Pretty darn good, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, this is kind of...
So this is another Indiana distillery that's not MGP.
No, Hammond, Indiana, if I'm not correct.
Yes, Hammond. Bustling metropolis of Hammond, Indiana.
I believe they have a casino there.
It would not surprise me. I feel like that's about the only thing I've seen in most Indiana. Which, my favorite joke to tell Alan, Kentucky bluegrass, right? It's a unique grass, only grows in Kentucky, and it's weird. The seeds are heavier, so you actually have to have higher winds in order to disperse the grass seeds. Otherwise, they just fall straight down, and like you don't ever, like the grass won't propagate. It just stays right where it is. And the reason why it does so well in Kentucky is the wind is just really high because Indiana sucks.
We'll be sure to relay that on and then a nice little reel later.
There you go. I've told that to Alan.
No, I believe you.
Say more than once. Because every time I talk about Indiana and drink, I tell that story. I'm very large. Hello? Pat? Pat, you're muted.
I coughed and had a fat finger and took my whole self off.
Okay.
So apologies, everyone. So this is 18th Street Distilling.
Yeah, 90 proof.
45. Okay.
It's not straight, so I'm going to say probably sub 2 years old.
Okay, well, for that, it's actually, I was going to say it's actually very approachable on the nose. Mm-hmm. You can get in there pretty deep. Nothing is, like jumping out at you, attacking you, but it's very kind of a warm, pleasant kind of aroma coming in. It's allowing you to get into it.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if I want to say it's like a ginger snap, but a little bit of that, but more of a molasses cookie. Oh, sorry.
You said ginger. Anytime anyone says ginger, I say pfeffernuss. It's just a new rule.
You're like trying to summon the pfeffernuss god. I know.
Dude, if they would make it outside of Christmas, I would just be the fattest, happiest man on the face of this planet.
We've had one or two things that were very pfeffernuss in flavor. I'd have to go back and see what they were, but we've had one or two that were pretty close.
Yeah. Happy days, right? Happy days.
Light, friendly baking notes. I'm also getting in the back, it's almost like a hint of like a flat cola, like a flat Coke in the background. Like it's not displeasing, but it's like I'm trying to find a place. Like I'm getting notes that I'm getting to some place, but I don't know where yet.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a
more than what you would think. I'm almost like not an ice cream shop, but like a 50s diner almost when it's later at night, not breakfast food, burgers and milkshakes and a little bit of maltiness. I'm not getting the milkshake noise, but that's just like the feel I'm getting. What?
I already took a sip. I couldn't.
Oh, well, go ahead. You don't have to like mute yourself for that. I thought I did something wrong. Wow. Oh. Okay. Hold on here.
I feel like they used specialty malts in this.
Mm-hmm. I'd say for sure. Not for sure, but my assumption would be a caramel malt. You get a lot of that torque in it. It almost gets to like a toffee. You know, like a little bit of like a score bar taste or a teeth bar.
Yeah. Yeah, because to me, there's a little bit of chocolate in there. It's not as chocolatey as like Vistula or something like that, but there's just a hint of chocolate going through there.
It's like you would have It's a thin, like you said, a thinner layer of chocolate around like toffee on the inside.
Mhm.
Um,
You want to throw the marzipan word out there? It's
No,
not very
'cause
marzipan-y, but
you know what? I had marzipan recently, like legit, and I was not a fan. And I don't know if I want to use that.
I went out and bought a bar of marzipan so I could finally understand what he was talking about, and I ate it, but I was just like, this does not do a lot for me.
Yeah, it's not like I get the notes, but I don't like it. I don't know. I don't want to use that as a descriptor
So
per se.
my inner fat kid appreciated the sugar, so I won't say I
Well.
disliked it, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like I'd rather have chocolate.
Who doesn't appreciate the sugar?
I mean, there's got to be somebody. Yeah, so this is not quite. It's not quite cola to me. Than like that
No.
flat note. It's more of like a weird kind of flat cream soda.
Okay.
I
get you get a little bit of the vanilla note in there too. Sorry, I didn't leave that out of the baking
vanilla.
spice notes, but
but it to me it's not as like sharp and spicy as cola, right? It's got some
the vanilla. Go ahead, sorry, Mitch.
Have you ever had brownies? Not like brownies like the dessert, but brownies. I think it's like root beer or like caramel cream soda or something like that.
Oh, like the brand? I don't know. For a second, I thought I was going to ask you if you were nuts because I was like, yes, I have had a brownie.
Yeah, I think it's like a caramel root beer they make.
Oh,
so
dang.
It's reminding me slightly of that.
Okay. I like the viscosity where it comes in. It's light, but still very coating over the front half of the tongue right away. Kind of rolls to the sides, and then all of a sudden, it opens up. I think when you get a little bit of air in there, not as more. The first time, I had a little bit of like almost like spark, like excitement, not heat, but like, oh, things happened quick. Third, fourth, fifth, whatever I'm on now, that little pop has died down, and it's more just a roll of flavors. But like the first time, it really had this. Whoo, could have been the first drink of the night too.
For 90 proof, I think it's packing a lot of flavor and a pretty good mouthfeel. I'm not gonna lie.
And like you said, if this is straight, the thing
it doesn't say straight. That's the wild thing. But I also don't see an age statement on it. So
are you getting like a little bit of a citrus lemony note on the back half finish? That's kind of a neat twirl up. It kind of goes from the vanilla, like it's cream soda, since we're in the soda realm. Let me hold on here. Ooh, caramel vanilla cream soda. I like that.
A lot of caramel.
And then as it's going, you get a little barrel note. And up at the end, it's almost, it's like an expression of a 50, not 50-50 soda, but if you really had a lemon lime expressed that way, kind of mixed in there. That's neat at the end. It hides for a little bit, but it comes to fruition. I think that's really surprising for me versus all the chocolatey, toffee, other notes hiding in there.
Helps balance it really well.
Yes, I'd like to think. I'd wonder what the yeast is on that. I'd be intrigued. I know you don't know. I'm just saying that's my question. If we talk to them, is what are you using on that? Because I like the way it came out for a malt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that may happen one or two more times, but I'm excited to have a few drinks. So overall, pretty nice. I like this place.
Oh yeah. Not gonna lie, I bought it because the local kind of superstore up here is called Wall to Wall. It's kind of like your Benny's or Liquor Barn from where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a great sale on it, and I'm a sucker for a sale. So I was like, American Single Malt on sale. Like, I'll pick it up. Yeah, why not?
Well, I like doing that too. I mean, that's one of those things where you go through a store and all of a sudden you're like, was 78, is now 40. Okay. Or I have seen a couple recently.
Sale, yeah,
I've seen a couple of them where they were 96, and I was like, well, they were in my opinion, overpriced at that point, and they've come down to like 69. I'm like, that's fair. That's a fair price for you. I'll consider you now.
Yep. For me, that was the Offerman editions of the Lagavulin.
Oh, yeah.
Like you'd go places and they'd be over $100, and it's like I'm not that big of a fan. But here recently, I've been seeing them for like $60 or $70, and it's just like,
not bad.
Oh, that's not bad at all for like all this stuff's like 11-year-old Lagavulin. It's like, yeah, okay.
I was like, yeah, if you were just getting it normally, you're going to be paying almost 50 without the name attached to something like that right now. So,
oh yeah,
but no, and yeah, I like that. All right, where are we rolling next, Mitch?
So, next will actually be something I can't figure out where I put the 2XO.
Okay, well, talk to me about it then. While I'm
all right. So 2XO, it's Dixon Deadman's new brand, right? So he started Kentucky Al, which we talked about in our hey, they're going bankrupt video.
Oh yes.
So he got a lot of absolutely great whiskey from a lot of people, blended it up, made the first several batches of Kentucky Al, which were just barns stompingly good, and made a great name for himself, sold the brand. And then once he wasn't the master blender, it didn't do as well. Stoli managed it however they managed it.
They didn't live up to what it used to be for the price point at what it was.
Right.
That's all.
So he created 2XO. So he has I picked it up because, right, Dixon Deadman, like he attached his name to it. I'm a fan of him, what he's done in the past. Interestingly, his special editions are hilarious. Like he has a sneakerhead bourbon because he's a sneakerhead.
That's fucking cool.
Like all his special editions are just things he's interested in, and he just names it after them. And I'm just like, all right, I respect that enough to like give it a shot. So this is the French oak finish. So all the 2XOs are finished. So
is it finished in anything else other than a French oak?
I don't believe so.
Because this is very light, friendly, aromatic.
Memory of it did it well, rather than letting the French oak overwhelm it.
Yeah, it feels more like it's fresh spring field a little bit after a rain. Or there's some berries in the background because I'm getting some like raspberry-ish notes coming out of here.
Mm-hmm. So
or like the white edge of a kiwi strawberry or something. There's some really neat, bright notes coming out of here. It does not smell heavy coming in. That's why I asked, because I would have thought this was finished in almost like a wine cask almost.
No,
coming in off of it.
Got some that are, but
no, I'm just saying that the way this came in, and I am getting a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of leather on the bottom end of the glass more, but that other part, just right off the bat, jumps at you more. All those bright, fruitier notes.
What's interesting, right? 2XO is an acronym. Surprise, surprise, the 3-letter thing for twice oaked, 2XO. So 2 times oaked. So all of his stuff is finished.
Very oily. Ooh. Much more than I was thinking it was going to be. It gets thick and it's still around the front half of my tongue. It's almost like it's still coating the second half and going all the way down there. Hey, nice to see you, Paul. How are you doing this week? Wow, this is so, like I said, this is almost what I said on the nose is in the glass. It's very bright. You do get some of those standard notes, the barrel note. I don't know if I can taste it so much as I can feel it. You know, like I don't. That sounds weird, but you can feel a little bit of the barrel note, kind of torque in there. But it's not as much as it's not an overall flavor expression when it's doing it. But you can feel that like tightening on your tongue.
Yep. So French oak can add just amazing mouthfeel if you do it right, right? So Alan Bishop would talk about throwing some French oak into some of his stuff just to kind of build the tannin structure to give it better mouthfeel. Not necessarily as like, I'm going to put this in a French oak barrel, just some, French oak wood of chips, whatever he does. And it's a brilliant idea, right? Because I think that shows it very well, just how
the legs on this are so gripping, it's ridiculous. Like I noticed it when I looked back when you were talking from the tip edge of my glass here. I still have a little bit of the line from when I last drank. That's nuts.
It's super good.
And going like this, it's got like ripples. It almost looks like one of those 1930s shows where you put it through a reel and look through a box and things happen. Like it's just that little bit of spacing that gives it that gap if you're kind of looking through it. And this is neat because as much as I'm saying it, it's gone. It's not overpowering. It did not dominate my palate, and it's approachable enough to want to go back to see what's going on again in this. It's just I think I would have thought it was going to be heavier just from the name and everyone talking about it and more the excitement about the brand. I was expecting heavier, deeper, rich, like lay on you notes, and this is not that's not what I'm getting.
Nope.
It's cool.
It is very well done. Makes me sad I haven't been buying it longer.
And now as we're going, a little bit of black, white pepper note pop there at the tail end of it. I like, gotta start the stupid class of everything.
Well, good luck.
1, 2. We're only going to do 2 squirts of stuff.
Oh, no.
Ooh, that one kind of, I like this one. That's okay.
Jesse, this was not the sneaker. This was just the French oak. I've had the sneaker edition. I liked it. But this bottle, I want to say, was like $50. And the sneaker edition was a little over 100. So I was like, maybe I'll just keep drinking it at the bar every once in a while when I feel like it.
Yeah, that's cool. But for $50, this is a really fun whiskey, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I think
good call.
He did real well with this one.
I guess I was assuming I thought it might be pricier as well, too.
I'm also really, really annoying about getting things on sale. So it might be a $60 or $70 whiskey I picked up for $50. So
whatever. And I know you had that one store that was going out of business.
Oh yeah, no, I got one of these tonight at that store.
All right, so who's next on the last 3 that we have left here?
All right, so next will be Brickway.
Brickway.
Single Malt. So this is actually a store pick from Wall to Wall of Brickway Single Malt. So Brickway is a Omaha distillery, so that's Omahaul. Finally headed up there not that long ago to visit the distillery after sampling this and then being like, holy crap, this is amazing. I'm buying a bottle. I would have loved to have put this up against 18th Street, but it's 120 proof versus 90 proof, so it will blow it out of the water.
I was wondering how just to be honest, you were starting on malts. I'm like, all right then. That's the way we're doing it. I guess we'll go down that.
Yeah. It is, from memory, fantastic and fruity, but I don't remember everything correctly. So let's find out. Okay. Yep, I was right. Pretty fruity. So they're pretty cool. Interestingly, their master distiller went to college, and I think he got an actual master's. And when you do your master's, you have to write a
dissertation.
A dissertation. And his dissertation was on line arm angle and reflux. So the top of, so if you think about a pot still, even if you're just thinking about Jed Clampett, you got, the big base, and then it comes up into the neck. The line arm is the part that goes off to the side. So his whole thesis was on, like, depending if you go up, like kind of level or down, will create reflux, and the reflux will create these reactions and all this. So he had his still custom built with a very specific angle on his line arm to make this whiskey.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
That's a section most people don't get into about it, but you would have to think you just think of that every still is different, where you get a bump or something in it, they leave it that way, or they get a new one, they hammer it the same spot so they think it works the same. But I'm like, the angle of it, I guess I'd like to know more about, like, what are you changing when you're changing the angle of it? Like, what are you getting, different phenols, or how is that kind of playing into it?
I know I would love to pick his brain about that, but he wasn't there when I was there, so it was just kind of one of those. They had a plaque, and then the person who gave us a not quite tour, but like let us walk around and answer all our questions was like, yeah, that was what his, thesis or dissertation was about. And I was like, that's awesome. And she looked at me kind of like, that might have been the first time she heard that response to
Because to be honest, I'd be like, so at what point do you want to give that dissertation or discussion speech about that at the distillery? Because I would come to that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, no, this is real learning. Come on. Dude, you don't have to take notes.
Folks out to that.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't have to take notes. You don't even have to care that way. But I bet you some people are.
I can think of more than one person who would be interested in that. Yeah. But interestingly, he did so well with Brickway. There was another distillery in Omahaul called Cutwater. Cut Spike. That they ended up purchasing. Just because Brickway was just blowing it out of the water. They also do amazing rums at Brickway. I picked those up before or after I sent out the Omahaul, though. Ooh, their rums. They rival some of the good rums we've had on here.
That's outstanding.
Not necessarily beating them, but
anytime you get into the ring, that's just the best part. Like, what? Yeah. What do you mean? It can get in the ring with Foregate. I'm not saying it's going to lose, but it can get in the ring. It's got better than the Rockies' chance at this thing.
Yeah, and so the other great thing is, right, they're an American distillery, so they have access to all these unique finishing casks. So, they'll have sherry finished rum and like some other interestingly finished rums that they do at cask strength. America yeah. So cask strength finished rum is just like, welcome to the conversation, guys. Like, we have been waiting.
Okay, that gets me into a weird thought on this. Dundered rum, but finished in either like a port or a sherry, where you kind of lean more in, where you funk the funk.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I wasn't really gonna like call Paul out like Emily did. Like, this is interesting. Like, might be some conversations to have, but.
Okay, here.
But done talking about all that. Talk about that.
You jump in on one on the first one, because otherwise I think I'm hammering pretty fast here. We're going to be done with 5 and like 40 minutes otherwise.
That's how you get wettled.
That's what I meant. Like, I knew this was going to happen tonight. I'm like, so I almost wanted like to make a precursor ad about, getting fucking wettled tonight. Who's joining in?
So at 120 proof, I think the nose is incredibly approachable. It's like berries and cream, a little bit of wood and vanilla in there too. Just absolutely fantastic.
When you said that cream, I get like a granola yogurt
thing
going on. Yeah, because you're right. There are. Okay, there's some berry notes. You get a little bit of that cream, like I'm saying, you get granola, but there's something at the bottom here that's heavier. That just threw me off. It's almost like there's this. Bear with me. Like the dish is made of something. You know, like it was baked in, like the granola was baked at the bottom. There's like this cooked pastry note. Even with a little bit of frosting on it. Holy shit. That thing at the bottom beneath everything is really interesting. Like I'm gonna be like half high from sniffing all the fumes here.
Oh, not the drinking part, just the sniffing. That's what gets
Well, I
you.
said high. That's you get high from the fumes. You get drunk from the booze.
You're right. I need to work on my vices.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. You sniff it, or like you've been around White Dog. There's a different part where your head and your face get flushed up a little bit quicker with fumes than it does drinking it, unless you're hammering some. I usually would say nasty moonshine because nasty moonshine hits worse than good moonshine.
Oh yeah.
Good moonshine, you're like, oh, that's warm, that's nice. The other one, you're like, oh, hold on.
A nasty moonshine gets aged with rats. And I'm not kidding, and ask me how I know some other time.
Hey. Like the Vietnamese, like dip it in the just around
moonshine.
them. All right, here we'll save that for
rats
behind the scenes, the special stories episode.
So, my dad knew Big Six Henderson, and if you know that name, you might know a thing or two about moonshine. So, fun times, or less fun times if you were a moonshiner.
What I find interesting about this is there's a minty. I got a little mint in the middle, actually more than I thought I would, but it's not overpowering. It's like a sprig that you would add to a cocktail drink. It's not a lot, but it's in there. But I wasn't getting that on the nose, so that was kind of neat. It's kind of like if you weren't expecting like you hadn't had a mojito and you hit it and you're like, oh, you know, like what was that little punch of zap there?
So this is it's real lively for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet. There's kind of berries. Mint is, I don't know. For me, my brain, mint is cold and spicy, whereas pepper is hot and spicy. So it's got that like cool spicy note, and that's kind of the barrel coming through. It's not a lot of like vanilla and caramel that's in here. It's just,
you're right, very light on that.
Yeah,
if you're getting it, it's like a light film of caramel. It's not much.
I really enjoy that, like the fact that it is not a super vanilla caramel American single malt.
I like it happens. You get like a little caramel, little chocolate, said spice lightens up. Okay, on the second thing, the mint doesn't come through as much the second time I'm hitting it here. Hold on, I'm going to put a little more in here. What?
Couple squirts.
Couple squirts. I'm going to be honest, these are the greatest things ever for sampling. I love them. They're fantastic.
Well,
how many times you pour way too much? It's boom, okay. And it's like, look, I still have enough to taste test it if I have to at the end of the year. It's beautiful.
It was just me on Amazon being like, man, I am tired of buying these glass bottles of, you know, Boston Rounds for samples because, like, yeah, great, they're reusable and all that, but it's also at a certain point you're just like, I might have more invested in the bottles than I do in the actual liquid inside them.
Oh yeah, that's true. It gets to that. If you don't find some type of sale or like, oh, it's a Thanksgiving sale, I'm like, all right, well, I'll take them now. But until then, it's like I'm spending more on the bottle than I am the booze.
I found those, and just throwing this out there, they look like shampoo bottles if you're going on vacation.
I brought that up to people who are doing it. I'm like, guess what? You can it's travel friendly.
Yeah. Why is your
I'm like,
shampoo
I
still
thought
running?
I even said, I'm like, I don't know. They might be purse friendly for going on. That's just my shampoo, and so I'm concerned it's going to make it.
Mine
I would
made
do
it,
gin then. Gin, some clear liquid if you were going to try to pull that off.
mine made it through security at TSA.
Well, it should. They shouldn't say anything about it. That's the best part. Spearmint's true. I get that. I don't know if on this one for me, it felt as powerful as spearmint does when I have it. But I'm going to go back in here. I'm really enjoying the nose on this the second or third time in. You can feel your tongue heat up a bit. I think that's the 120, but it's hard. It's not coming. Sometimes you say heat. It's just it's so layered by the oiliness. It's like you can just feel a little bit coming up, but there's other parts that are like draping over the top of it, like holding it down.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly oily.
That is the only good thing about the Boston Rounds. Like, they don't normally break, and you can reuse them.
That's true.
But just the washing and just
it's a day where you like, what are we doing? Like, this is what I'm doing for an hour and a half. You do this, let them dry out. Then we're going to start filling them. This is a whole day project.
Yeah.
All right, here.
Okay, not Morgan.
Okay, that's for a single malt. It's a very interesting set of flavors going on. It's married lightly. It has a little bit more of, I'm thinking almost like a little more of an herbal kick than I would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Yeah, I was really drawn to it just because it was not much like many single malts I'd had before.
Yeah, I would say it runs real close. If you hadn't told me, I don't know if I would have picked that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Before I started, there's some notes there that I might have leaned interesting bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you get the maltiness, but like you can get that from a little bit of malt, a little bit of oat, and some bourbons, and that'll play a difference there. All right, we're down to 2.
Yep. Next is the second chance.
Second glaze.
Second glance. Sorry.
Oh no, you're lying. Is this one of those ones you guys were labeling when you were drinking?
All of them we were labeling while we were drinking. It was just how early into the process were we at labeling them. Because the first ones 2 we labeled were, what do you want to drink while we're doing this? Well, I want to drink this. All right, let's send that one out first.
That's a great way to do it. Oh, wait, when I was
Second one, what's your favorite? All right, well, here's your glass. All right, for the shampoo bottles. All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. All right, 1. You done drinking? We need to be done with the next one by the time I get done pouring these bottles.
It'd be hilarious because she was making the labels, so I'd try and do all the distilleries, next to each other, so she wouldn't have to delete the distillery. But then my glass would run empty, so there'd be like a random one-off in the distillery where it's like, and then this one. Why that one? Oh, I needed to fill my glass. I mean, it only took us 3 days to do this, partially probably because we were drinking.
Well, I mean, there was like 60-some plus different whiskeys in the Omahaul, so yeah, we're chipping away. This is a 5-shot. Oh, hold on.
It's one of these crazy bottles from California.
Almost looked Corsair-y to me.
That owned a winery. He decided to open a distillery. So this is another wall-to-wall single barrel pick.
Okay.
113 some proof, but this is an American whiskey finished in Zinfandel, Grenache, and Cab Sauv barrels.
Okay, I'm gonna like very wet barrels, I'm guessing. Coming in on the nose, I'm guessing some wet barrels or freshly
Very freshly dumped.
because I'm coming in, I'm just all fruity, like wine, nice light must, not heavy,
Mm-hmm.
strawberry, raspberry, that Zinfandel note, like you mentioned, that's pretty. I don't drink a lot of wines, but I know that from all the wines that dates have had at a wedding.
I don't do wine. So there was a young lady
So bright and fresh.
back when I worked at Westport Whiskey and Wine who was going to be a wine sommelier, and she would just constantly, like have a glass of wine while she was working so she could, like work on it. And she like made me smell it. And I was just like, oh, smells like bad grapes. And she's just like, and I was just like, less bad grapes? I don't know. Like,
oh, wow. Whoa. There's weird stuff happening on the right behind my lips. Like that section between my lips and my teeth. That doesn't happen very often. You can clearly tell there's a combination of finishes. I don't want to say all fighting, pretty well married. There's one that I saw kind of jump up a bit in there. And then you get underneath on the back half here. Sorry, you start getting the bourbon note, like clearly hiding, but the slight backbone, a bitchy backbone, but it's a backbone to it. And these other things are all over the top.
mm-hmm. So American whiskey. So I don't know if it's like a bourbon that they put into a used cask or just like a not majority grain for, what they used, but or if they blended in, like light whiskey or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough wines. I like one of them. There's some in here I really like. I don't know what the hell it is. But it's the wine section. This is a wine drinker's whiskey.
It starts off wine.
Oh, it's total wine. Yeah, like yeah. I'd almost say the first half, if not a little bit more, is wine, and then wine flavors playing ping pong until one comes to fruition for a second. And I don't mean like badly, but there's a lot going on. And then you start getting, like I said, it's like, oh, backbones, like something's underneath here, and that's the bourbon. But clearly, if you had wine, if you're trying to pull a wine drinker into bourbon,
oh, this is good.
This is a fucking entry note for something 100%. Like that, because I think it is uniquely fun and complex in its own right. This is really neat.
Yeah. So to me, it's super winey up front, like just that grape note, all that. And then like the barrel tannins from wine, like that's what I get as like the mouth tingle. And then it goes, and the American kind of whiskey backbone for me is cocoa powder, maybe. Like it's not super sweet. It's just like a semi-sweet note
like
that kind of goes through that the wine eventually fades enough that you can start tasting.
Yeah, but the play and the blending is so fun on the wines on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This may be the way you pull me that way. You know what I mean? This is the first time I'm interested in wines in, I don't know, a decade. or more, I'm intrigued. It's good job blending. I mean, you took what you had and you made something exciting. I mean, that's really what this is. It's something exciting. It's light. It's fun. It's pretty much done. But what's left on the tail end is a little light tannin barrel mode. You know, and that's you can tell that's the whiskey or bourbon barrel finish. But the rest of it up front is all just a pizzazz fucking shit happening. I'm sorry, I don't care. I've had a few drinks. Oh,
We're more than 5 minutes in.
well, look at this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Look, hey, how
Hey,
are
it's
you
flannel
doing?
night. The eye candy's here.
It's like I wear flannel every day.
Well, are you done with your stuff, Mike?
I am done with my stuff. I am yeah. Well, for now I got to get back on there, so I had to do some really exciting and riveting database migration.
Yeah.
I know. Keep your shirts on, ladies. I know it's very
Overtime,
exciting.
Didn't say anything about guys though.
Yeah, here.
Everybody, yeah.
Pulling ahead.
Everybody loves a dork in a database. So, all right, where'd you guys leave off?
Hey, you just
Right now we're on the second glance.
yeah, and I want you to jump into that thing.
Okay, so I
Let's
actually,
go.
while I was doing database migration, I was doing all my notes and everything.
Oh,
I even have a blend waiting,
oh
and I thought
well,
I'm
we're
doing
doing
this
time.
with or without you.
All right, well,
Self-weddling. There you go.
I am well. I'm being
well, sometimes you got to self-weddle. You know,
well.
I heard an argument for self-weddling the other day. Is like, well,
I,
you know, what is it to just have one or two drinks, you know, each night? Why don't you just save it up all for one night and have one?
yeah, and have 10.
fucking- yeah, have to have a good night.
Yeah, why not? So, yeah. Okay, so the second glance. All right.
Yeah.
Now I had okay. So, did you guys already do yours or no?
Yes, we were just about to leave, and I want to know what you think of this thing.
Oh, just a relief. All right. Well, there you go.
Not leave, but just hop to the next one.
Okay. All right. So, second glance, what I had on the nose was waxy white wine, some cherry. On the palate, I had bit of honey, a little pepper, a little nutty, a little fruit. And the finish was a little peppery, honey and fruity, almost as like you had something a little spicy and a bit of honey, and you're sucking on it. That's what I had on second glance. Aw.
He was whining on the couch because he wasn't getting pets.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do that all the time, but I don't get no pets.
aw.
What order did you have
Better
this in? Where
roommates.
did this fall in your? Was it towards the beginning or end?
This was the second one. So I had started
Okay.
with 2XO, and I did the second glance. Oh, the order I did is 2XO, second glance, Brickway, 18th Street, and then Chai.
Okay. Well, this is number 4 for us, and
Okay, that's cool.
this one I was just saying that I was actually getting the multiple barrels on this one, like wine.
So
wise,
yeah,
and I'm kind of jazzed up about this. Like I don't know how it's not like
I've
I
only
have
have
to have
I've,
this.
I've had a few Savage and Cooke, and I liked them all. They were all just like they didn't blow my mind, but they were also
Yeah.
like they were all like, this is nice. I like it.
I found it fun.
yeah.
And a
This
cool
one's
bottle.
a single barrel, Mike. So it's 55 Zen, 35 Grenache, and 10% Cab Sauv.
Mhm.
Which to me, I hear, oh, red.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. The other one I know is spicy red is like a Shiraz. If I
Yeah.
remember.
So what other ones did you guys already do?
18th Street Brickway and 2XO.
Okay, so I have questions about 18th Street.
But
I
you
might have some answers.
Well,
Like,
okay,
that
so
was the one
here's my
before
question.
this.
The one question I'll always ask. Okay, what's the ABV on the Savage and Cooke?
The Savage and Cooke is 115.6.
All right. What is it on the Brickway?
120.
All right. 18th Street.
90.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So,
Ooh.
all right, we'll go. You go ahead. You go on to the next one.
Well, the last one's chai.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I did it for, I didn't nose anything, whatever. But I thought, name like chai, I should do this one last.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, can I tell you what I thought of the other ones?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. 2XO. I hadn't really had a whole lot going on with 2XO before.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually very pleasant.
Yeah.
It was a very,
I
very
bought it and I
pleasant.
was like, why didn't I buy this earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was really nice. I was getting on nose. I had warm baking spices, some cherry, little citrus. The palate I had caramel or caramel, baking spices, cinnamon, nuts, and coffee, and they had like a nice peppery coffee finish that I was getting off of it. The Brickway. Okay, the Brickway, the nose. It was weird because I knew it said single malt and everything, but I was getting vanilla and like a light rum on the nose. And some of that, which also for me would be like some of the vanilla too. But the palate on that one, I had almond, vanilla, honey, and then the weirdest thing ever, oregano. I'm tasting this thing and it was just like, what's that herbal thing that just jumped out on me?
Oh,
Huh?
I said something about which one was herbal?
Brickway.
Okay, I think I might have said it.
Yeah, the herbal thing that came off on the palate.
Yeah.
I just did it and it was just like, what? And I went back again. I'm like, it was just like a splash of oregano. It was the weirdest thing, and I kept getting it.
I mean, yeah. Maybe we need to have a pizza night with a pizza pachuga.
But it was weird. Like again, every time I had it, it would just show up and then go away. It was weird, but it was kind of fun too. Yeah, and it was just like nice. The finish on it was light floral, honey, and decently long for it. So 18th Street, I got on the nose. I had waxy, honeysuckle, vanilla, little floral, little cocoa. Palate was vanilla, honey, and floral. And again, it was a little creamy on the finish, light, and just nice. And
Very approachable.
Yeah, I was like, this is a nice single malt.
So I was telling Pat, it was on sale.
Oh, okay.
It was on sale enough that I was like, I'll pick it up. Never heard anything about them before, but I'm a sucker for a sale. And I was just like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, I was not upset about it at all.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. And that, to be honest, that wine one really kind of threw me for fun. I like Dixon Deadman's one, actually. Like you said, I hadn't had a lot with it. A lot of the bottles I saw were more of the $100-$200 range, not the shorter range. And for $50, that was pretty damn impressive for what that was. I was pretty happy with that.
I've always been his stuff in the past. Well, I never looked at the price of 2XO before because I was always just kind of out of my range. Like, that's a big jump without trying it, So no, I was very happy with it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So where is this 477 place?
So 477 is out of Colorado.
Oh,
Greeley, Colorado.
I was gonna say Greeley, or I think I remember it was Greeley or Greystone off the top of my head.
Yeah. So Morgan and I had them at the Omahaul Whiskey Fest, and he was one of the few ones who brought more than just whiskey. Thank God. But his offerings were wild and delicious. Like I believe he made his own limoncello. He made this chai spirit on top of his whiskeys. And I went to that store that was closing before they started closing. And I was like, I want everything of 477 that I can find. And this was the only thing I could find.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good job.
Whoa.
It's effing amazing.
I know. From the time I open it up, my notes are very easy.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I had, and since I've already, and I don't have it freshly poured because I actually, again, I have the blend, but it was chai tea, and including with like a cream note on the
Yep.
nose. And then on the palate, chai tea with cream. And the finish, chai tea with cream. It's like there's no other way to describe it. It is what it is. And I thought this is pretty fun.
Just bringing it up to my nose a couple times, just like you were saying, instantly before you were saying it, I started thinking of sturgeon spirits. Like, well, that's fucking chai tea.
You know what I want to do?
Hey.
I want to put it in chai tea.
Yeah.
To me, it's like chai latte.
Yes, I was gonna say
because
that creaminess.
It's a little
bit
sweet.
of coffee.
And
It's
it's
a little
creamy.
rough.
Yeah, but only 50 proof. So
Wow.
ending on a low proof tonight. Sorry, after I blow your palate out with 120 proof malt.
But a nice desserty thing there too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is another
Ooh.
just appearance and everything. You don't think anything. Okay, and then you didn't pour it in a glass. It's like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, this was in the middle of the
Yeah,
of the day, and I had this, and this was the natural spirits. Omahaul Whiskey Fest.
I liked I liked all these that you sent the samples of. I really did. This is one. It's like I need this one in my life.
It's weird.
Yeah,
This is so not. I don't know, man. This is nuts for what it is.
you know what? Actually,
I mean, I haven't had anything like this.
I'm gonna have a little touch of it again here, just because I have some. The sample got hit a lot
Hmm.
because when you're migrating sequel,
It's like sugary.
nothing helps you
sweet-
like a little chai liquor.
Yeah, sugary, sweet, honey, chai, tea. Doesn't taste like whiskey. Tastes, if you're gonna put it to anything, I almost put it to like
It's
a
like-
light liqueur and just
Yeah.
slightly
Well,
to that realm. Because
If
of the
you give this
sugariness.
to me blind, I would say you are giving me a cooled off chai tea.
Yeah. If you,
Oh, I should probably show the bottle, right?
and
So-
the finish too. Like you said, it's just the same thing all the way through.
Chai spirit. So from what I can tell, it's vodka that's infused amazingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exceedingly well done. Like this is something that when you said that, one of the few times this would be excellent to have in a pairing night. I don't know where to put it along with what it is. Maybe as an appetizer with something where it's light and it pops off and gets you kind of going, but it's very interesting. I don't know where to use it, but there's it by itself is neat. Maybe an ice cube. I don't know if you need to play with it.
You know what? Having it warm would be kind of fun too.
I could see this being
like
great.
a hot-toddy-ish thing.
Oh fuck! What I meant to say was, have y'all ever seen those like Halloween cupcakes where it's a cupcake and they've got like the syringe in it of like cherry syrup for you to either like shoot in your mouth while you're eating the cupcake or like do that? I could see like a carrot cake cupcake with a syringe of this where you just like shoot that and then eat the carrot cake bean.
When you said carrot cake, you get the frosting note on here, and as you're saying it pushed me in that realm.
Right? Like,
Oh man,
I had a thought.
Oh.
Take the aforementioned syringe and take a Twinkie. Put this in the Twinkie.
now you're saving Twinkies worldwide.
Well, the
Twinkie stock just went up.
Twinkie cake part would probably attack and try to kill the spirit, but I'm talking about with the cream filling, just because of the flavors of
Yeah,
the
I get you the
Twinkie cake.
texture.
Yeah.
Of the filling.
Hmm.
This is weird, and I'm not usually like a chai
Use
latte
this with the
fan.
frosting, like whip it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is neat.
if you see this in the wild in your neck of the woods,
Hell yeah.
please.
Tackle this up because this is something fun to play with.
It's great.
Like
I love everything about it.
it's fun if you're having people over for like a dinner party. Sometime this is coming out.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know where. Like I said, I don't know where to
Or
quite properly put it. This got to come out.
at work, you got a glass of it. Like, what are you doing? I'm just having some chai.
I was going to say Hennigan's.
Now leave me alone.
The no mess, or the no smell, no fuss, no
No,
muss.
yeah, yeah, no smell.
And it smells like chai.
Yeah, I can see how this would end up in a lot of most soccer moms' cups if you went that route, or anyone's cups. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm just little chai latte. Oh.
Even better, be the one that pours this into the soccer mom cups. Be the hero that America needs.
I don't know if America needs more drunk soccer moms. I used to work at Target.
I used to coach soccer, and it's like, you know how you keep the people on the sideline happy? You have one parent who feeds them, and that keeps everybody nice and happy and quiet. Now imagine if you could tamp that down just a little bit more. Yeah.
Good luck.
I don't know what this is going to do to my blend.
Maybe one squirt instead of two, right?
I did equal parts of everything in mine, so
yeah, that's fine.
don't be a coward.
I didn't. I'm twirling. I'm swirling. I'm getting this thing moving.
No one likes a quitter.
Oh, well, who would give up on that? It's weird. It lives like that frosting note is what you're kind of left with on your backside of your lips. You almost had like a Cinnabon or something. Like you're left with more than what you think on that.
Friday at work, we were celebrating a couple of birthdays in my little area, and everyone was bringing in stuff like for snacks and whatnot, mostly for like lunch snacks. But one person, she's like, I couldn't come up with anything for lunch, but I thought I'd bring a breakfast thing. And so she brought a TikTok cinnamon rolls recipe. And it was one, I've seen similar ones, but she sent the one that she sent where you get the tube of cinnamon rolls, put them in a pan, but you fill the bottom of the pan with heavy cream. And then and then you bake it. And you know what? The whole cinnamon roll has the same taste and texture as the center of a cinnamon roll.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I will send this to you.
Okay.
I was looking, she's like, oh no, we make it all the time. And it also, it expands and fluffs up those cinnamon rolls.
If we ever have a My Whiskey Den weekend at like a farm or distillery, like for breakfast, we'll be having this.
Oh, for God's sake.
Everybody will leave with diabetes.
Yes, toes will be left behind. I like the nose on the blend. It's actually surprisingly
a little more faint than what I was expecting. Some of the other flavors to maybe jump up or something to take control.
Is your lovely half playing along, Mitch, or is she out?
She is unconscious.
Sometimes you need that.
Told her,
Yeah, this really flattened out. Some basic notes, like almost a meringue. I'm getting on this more than anything.
That is not a bad palate.
It's actually really good.
There's a lot of creaminess to it.
That's one of the better blends I've done.
There's there's literally a cream note that comes across.
Mm-hmm.
There she is. Morgan speaks. Hello to everybody in the chat, by the way.
You were unconscious 20 minutes ago.
Oh, that's weird.
Good weird.
You said cinnamon rolls. That's more what I was getting. Like it was like biting through 2 layers of cinnamon to the middle where it's like squishy and whatever.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you got the cinnamon on the sides.
This has to exist, but perhaps reminiscent of a breakfast cereal that is little tiny cinnamon rolls with the milk and everything.
I don't know if I've had such a thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would have to exist. But if there's anyone who knows about all the cereals or who is fast with the keyboard, it's the boss with the wrench.
See, we'll have bacon. We'll have bacon with it, Emily.
That's another thing to do to the cheap tube cinnamon rolls. You unroll them, you wrap them in bacon, and then you bake it. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've had
that. They are the bomb. And Right. I did that the first time, and my oldest, she was like, "Why are you doing that? I don't know. Try one." And yeah,
It's worth it.
I've only had Cinnabon once in my life.
Oh God, it'll kill you.
And I was in high school, and it was a study session at the mall with some girls. And of course, they all wanted Cinnabon, and I was poor, so I did not get Cinnabon. But they could only eat half of their cinnamon roll. But I discovered the best way ever that I ever saw someone eat a cinnamon roll was they just unwound it and then just started eating it like it was
like spaghetti or a fruit roll up.
Or something like that.
That's actually
That's
really
kind of cool. Yeah, you get the flavor on your tongue the whole time.
Very messy though.
Yeah.
I mean,
how'd that go over?
Okay, are we talking like having to feed it in, or you got a pro like sucking it up like a spaghetti?
Definitely feeding it in.
Okay, because I'd
Like
want
ramen
to.
noodle?
If you could eat that like Lady in the Tramp, it that would be
Impressive.
We could try that at Distill America.
Yeah, we can. Fred, come here.
Take the other end of this.
Adam. Adam.
Oh, Adam might do it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. This is nice. I dig the blend. And thank you for Mitch for all and Morgan for these for acquiring these. And this was a good batch.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very good. Oh, and like I was saying, next Monday, we will be having a show where we review some dark arch whiskey. They sent over 2 blends, one that was actually chosen by Bourbon Junkies and the other one by Bourbonite. They had like 3 barrels that they got to choose and blend it together and then finish it in some Musanera oak. So we're going to bring Kevin Rose back on the show. We haven't seen him in a while. I missed his face. So I'm going to get him back on the screen.
You sound like Chip Kind. I miss your scent.
I don't want to go that far. That's kind of... I want his wife to get mad at me. I like her.
She'd probably go, yeah.
Yeah. They're whiskey friends.
Yeah. It's tax season. You can have them.
Well, yeah, I do know that is too. So next week, we're going to be reviewing those, kind of comparing what each of them came up with, deciding if there was one we like better than the other. So stop in next week. We'll talk about that on the 14th. 21st is Emily. We're going to be having her on then.
Emily from not Emily.
Oh, not Emily.
Yeah.
Sorry, different Emily.
Not Boss Emily.
Not the wrench Emily.
No.
My apologies. Sorry, I didn't mean to get everyone.
Although she should come back.
Yeah, we can handle that. I would like that. And then on May 5th, we'll be seeing that lovely guy Fred Swanson we're just talking about to talk about this year's Distill America version. But no, you don't want him to come
Handsome
on?
son of a bitch.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, it is kind of annoying like that.
He is.
But
speaking of Distill America,
yes,
and Fred saw they're coming out with "I Would Rye for You" Batch 2.
yes.
Saw that.
But they had something else that came out recently where it's like, oh God, a certain type of release, but it's like it's more of a floral herbal kind of release that they got from a series.
Yes. I could tell you what that was because I was actually looking those up.
Yeah,
very recently.
They're gonna have a couple different releases.
In lieu of flowers.
Yeah, in lieu of flowers. I think Matt was gonna get one. He saw one. He's asked, "What should you get?" I'm like, "You should get that one. I haven't had that one."
Because for a minute, Sealbox had the Mazed and Confused Corn, the In Lieu of Flowers, and then the I Would Rye for You. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I was gonna say, if you get a chance, they'll have a new of the In Lieu of Flowers. That's kind of a little specialty side release thing, but obviously they do it enough that they could get some on Sealbox. So not just a distillery only release. So very cool. I'm excited.
Putting the cinnamon roll recipe in the chat. I sent it to you guys also.
I like that. I'm gonna put it right up there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's 1,000 of them have the same recipe, but this is the one that I had.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I can attest to it.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
only negative thing I do have to say about the chai is a lot of sugar.
Yes.
Yep.
You get that in the second half of it. That's
Yep.
why the blend, that kind of,
But it could be worse.
oh, by far. Like I
Yeah.
said, you just get the hint of it being a liqueur, where other ones you're like, oh, that's, you know.
Doesn't
Yes.
No, natural spirits doesn't have a chai.
No, I
But
don't
imagine
think
if this had the natural spirits treatment.
so. Ooh, the creamy, the even thicker creaminess.
Yeah.
Should we talk to him? We need to get you guys together.
Yeah, we're going to be annoying the hell out of them out at Still America anyway, so we might as well. Dave.
Dave.
Ugh,
Here's
could
this
you
guy.
imagine-
We're gonna call him right now.
Yeah.
Me whettling the sample givers. Just show up. What do you have in that suitcase, Mitch?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Sunscreen?
Click.
What's with the bandolero?
Why do you have so many shampoo bottles?
Yeah.
No reason.
Oh, that'd be great if you had a bandolero of like pre-made shampoo bottle. There you go, sir.
Or the cruise, the fake cruise ship suntan lotion bottles. Like I'm under the sun, and you never know what SPF you might want.
Is that a really?
I have
reason
15, 30, and 45.
Yeah.
I'm very pale.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish.
75,
A lot
maybe.
of Irish.
All right, here. So that's excellent, Mitch. This was a great batch of stuff. I really,
Yep.
I
I
really
tried
dug
not
the
to
style.
send any stinkers.
No, I know, but
But even if you do, it's fun.
yeah, and there were two of these I thought that just really had a neat twist and fun twist, and the chai one was just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just whatever. That's one of the if it was at a show, that would have been the surprise one right now of the year is the
Yeah.
chai one that I left field and didn't see it at all. So
Yeah, when I had it the first time, I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like, I'm pretty sure I cussed because I'd been drinking all day.
well,
Right?
and oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just mumbling.
No, but I was just even going up to the nose and having it reminds me a lot of people who've had sturgeon spirits. Like, well, there's no questioning what I just had, and it was nicely done.
Yeah.
I think sturgeon spirits maybe a little less sugar, but I think with the chai that kind of leans into that anyways. So I don't think that jumps too far out of the realm of reality where that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
with
that-
again, these are all, I thought these were all just just nice. I mean, just nice across the board. But I was very, very, very surprised with the chai and how this is a brown spirit. And I swore on my palate that I have cream. How do you get that note?
So
I don't know.
Really, there isn't and can't be any cream in here.
Yeah,
It would look bad.
wow, maybe you did that crazy milk punch thing or whatever it is.
Oh well, that was actually good. But yeah, I was thinking of the Laverne and Shirley Pepsi and milk.
sorry. That's fucking awesome.
I remember trying that when I was a kid. It's like, well, they're drinking it, so it can't be
Oh
bad.
yeah.
Like, can't be good either.
You gotta give it a try. Find out. Remember, I've done
Laverne
it a few
DeFazio
times.
says it's okay.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen out there in whiskey land. I think we're rolling up on the end of the show here. I didn't realize we were on that long. It's gotta have you pop in, Mike. Snuck in at the end there. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it would have been a little sooner, but we had to fix a little something
Gotta make it work.
to make sure everything was okay. It was like something was acting a little wonky. It's like, well,
Better to do it now than have it not work tomorrow.
it's better to do it tonight when there's fewer people on it.
Yeah.
And I got to monitor stuff tonight and see. I was actually looking forward because every time we've had to do something to some of these things and we say, hey, It's going to be down for this time. Don't try to get on it during this period when we try to do it. We're going to watch you and see if you try to get on it. That's we send out to the internal people. The external people, it's like we're going to watch you. And it's the same couple of jackasses every time that try and get on there. And I warned everybody again. It's like I will disable you if you try to do it. I can tell, and I will disable you. That's because the last time it happened, there's people couldn't get on for at least a day. And they're just like, I don't know why I can't get on. I do.
You were a dumbass last night.
Yeah. I am petty. I will keep you off of it.
Well, I don't know if it's petty. If that mistake costs you hours, then fuck them.
Yeah. Well, when you're working with somebody else outside your company and doing stuff, and you're wasting their time too, you know. But
yeah, that'd be
I didn't have any of that. I had one person, but they were okay, and it was an external person. I was really looking forward to disabling somebody's user.
He's been waiting to throw down the hammers.
Oh, hey, you know, you don't get much in life, but when you can do that,
You got to enjoy the little things.
exactly. It's like whenever Emily straightens us out or threatens to kick us off.
That's true. All right. Well, like I was saying, thank you everyone for stopping in tonight. We will see you next week when we're trying sampling some dark arts. And thank you, Mitch and Morgan, for the wonderful sample set we had tonight. Remember, it's not the size of the den that matters; it's the love of whiskey. Cheers, everyone out there.
Cheers. Cheers.